Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Tarot and Astrology Insights, and we're going to talk about the energies coming at the twins for the week ahead. We're going to jump in and talk about the astrology aspects first, how they're going to be affecting the Twin Flame Collective, and then we're going to go deeper with the cards. So please feel free to subscribe if you're new here. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss this reading. Like the video, comment on the video, and share the video, please, especially if you're resonating with the message. But we got some big energy shifting this week. We're going to have Mars re-entering into Cancer in its retrograde transition. We're going to have Mercury squaring it up with Neptune. We're going to have Mercury entering into Capricorn midweek along with the Sun square Chiron. Mercury square the North Node shortly after it enters into Capricorn. And then we're going to close off the week on the weekend with the Sun squaring it up with Lilith and Mars forming a trine to Neptune. So what does this mean? What does this mean for the masculine collective? Because Mars is representative of divine masculine energy, and with it re-entering into Cancer in its retrograde motion, I do feel this is pretty important because we just had that Mars opposition with Pluto exact between Leo and Aquarius. And it's now going to be locked in this opposition until April 27th when we've got that final oppositional energy again with Leo and Pluto. And so this is pretty interesting energy. I feel a lot of the divine masculines are working through some fear-based energies, maybe even feeling a little bit weakened physically, and they're disguising these weaknesses, likely being a little bit defensive, or even quite possibly a little bit controlling when it comes to their energy and their attitude. I feel a lot of the masculines too are almost fearing their own power and quite possibly even overcompensating by shrinking back and continuing to play small. You think of Cancer, they like to shrink into that hard shell. And so right now I feel a lot of the masculines are facing this deep internal battle of wills, and they're testing their boundaries, and they're finding their determination and their ability to kind of navigate through all of these karmic power struggles during this retrograde. And I do feel there's a lot of unconscious attraction when it comes to them calling in a lot of dramatic and intense, almost like impossible situations to play out this power and control dynamic. And so a lot of this really is a reflection for the divine masculine collective when it comes to this unconscious dynamic being played out and recreating something all the way back from childhood, likely in a cycle with some type of energy that is mimicking that parental influence from childhood. And so they're kind of in it with an adult version to kind of play out this deeply rooted childhood frustration or trauma to close out this karmic cycle during this retrograde. And so there's, I feel, surrounding the divine masculine, what I was shown and what it felt like was a very dominant caregiver, or almost like a parent-child dynamic playing out with the masculine, where maybe they're kind of feeling like they're being manipulated, or in this sense of almost like powerlessness when it comes to all of these limitations and their lack of options in this karmic cycle. And so I feel a lot of the divine masculines are dealing with massive triggers, and it's kind of stirring up this inner anger when it comes to these deep-seated emotions that kind of have been repressed. And I do feel this is all due to the fact that they're kind of running from having to deal with these issues. With Mercury square Neptune the same day that Mars transitions back into Cancer, this is like a huge energy of needing to stay grounded in reality, because this transit is very difficult. It's a very confusing energy. It felt very difficult to kind of channel into the divine masculine with this aspect, even though I've had this very clear and focused vision. It was very confusing. So I feel there's a lot of misunderstandings surrounding the divine masculine, and I kept hearing the words blurred lines. And so when we're in this energy of blurred lines, boundaries also can become blurred. And so there's a blurring of energies when it comes to fantasy and reality because of the Neptunian aspects. And there's like a huge veil, I feel, of misunderstanding, deception, and quite possibly even escapism surrounding the masculine collective, which is creating massive mental fog, and insecurities are definitely going to be enhanced in the energies during these transits. I was shown the Ace of Wands and the Fool, though, which is this wondrous energy, right? It's this beautiful, wondrous energy, powerful energy. It can either help us, though, or it can hurt us, because it can lead to a lot of reckless and hasty actions. And so what I do feel, though, is we're on the precipice of a brand new beginning. That's that Ace of Wands. It's a brand new beginning. But I do feel it's hindered by a lot of fear, uncertainty, mostly fear of rejection. And so I feel the divine masculine is feeling a little bit fired up. And the universe keeps throwing wrenches into their plans. And this is where they got to kind of face some serious consequences for their past reckless behavior and their impulsive decisions and behaviors in the past. And so whatever they've been ignoring when it comes to this crucial lesson between the counterparts is kind of coming in full force. And they've got to recognize why they keep making the same mistakes over and over again and over again when it comes to needing to reflect on their past actions. And so this Mars retrograde is definitely taking its toll on all of us, but I do feel the masculines are feeling the brunt of the consequences of their previous decisions and choices. And so with Mercury entering into Capricorn, it's finally going to feel a lot more grounded in the energies. There's an emphasis on grounded, precise communication with Mercury going into Capricorn. And so this really is putting my focus on long-term goals. I don't know about the rest of you, but Mercury transiting through Capricorn is really encouraging us to choose our words carefully, And so we are being encouraged, both the masculine and the feminine, to use daily grounding practices. And this will bring forward that clarity that we've been seeking when it comes to our purpose. So really be mindful of your thoughts as Mercury transits through Capricorn, because we're kind of getting to the root of the issue. We're identifying the root problem here. And once we get to the root, we can finally acknowledge and accept the issue, and then we can extract the issue from happening again. Then we can fully transform our path and move forward together. And so I feel this really is a timely wake-up call playing out this week. And so all of this scattered energy with Mercury and Sagittarius, because Mercury and Sagittarius was kind of in its detriment. There was a lot of scattered thoughts, and now we're finally going to be able to organize those thoughts and kind of piece together what we weren't able to kind of see clearly. But we do need to be aware, because I feel conversations are going to feel a little bit more controlling rather than constructive, especially if you're closing out a very difficult relationship cycle. With the sun squaring it up with Chiron the same day, this is kind of bringing to the forefront all of these deep-seated wounds and insecurities, I feel, of the divine masculine. But we got to remember, divine feminine, we also have an inner divine masculine. So take the reading how it resonates. But this can affect the sense of self. I feel there's a lot of challenging, triggering dynamics playing out connected to this deep-seated woundedness and this lack of personal identity, right? Because Chiron is transiting through Aries. And so we've got a very unique opportunity for deep healing and transformation. But there is going to be friction. There's going to be friction, and this friction is basically a catalyst for change. And so if you feel like your sense of self is being challenged, or maybe you feel like you're being exposed, it can be very uncomfortable and very unsettling. But this is really the precipice of this intensified healing work. And we got to face our deepest fears, and we got to face our deepest insecurities, because that's really what holds us back when it comes to this cycle of unity. And with Mercury squaring it up with the North Node the same day, this is a massive explosion of triggering energies, whether it's fear of criticism or maybe this energy of feeling unsupported or facing opposition. There's going to be conflict. There's going to be challenges. And this is basically where a decision is going to need to be made. You think about a square. It's like a box. And so a lot of these masculines are boxed into a very uncomfortable cycle or kind of backed into a corner. And this is where a decision kind of needs to be made in order for this realignment of their life path to take place. And there's like major hesitation when it comes to this open door towards the direction of the counterpart of the divine feminine, towards fulfillment and the divine masculine's life purpose. And so a lot of them are getting lost up in their head, lost up in their thoughts, and they're trying to consider every possible angle, every possible outcome. And this overthinking, I do feel, is kind of leading to analysis paralysis, and they're getting lost in all of these distracting details, and they may even fall prey to temptations in the energies this week. I was shown the Magician reversed with the Empress reversed, and this is a very difficult energy. It's almost like the Temptress. A lot of the masculines could be dealing with a mother figure or a feminine figure that is like a pathological liar, that is purposely trying to manipulate them, purposely trying to create confusion, which could lead to a loss of power. And it's like they're stuck in this cycle, I feel, of neglect and codependency, and that's paired with all of this deceit and trickery. And so when we are codependent, we are very easily manipulated. And so I do feel there's a big confrontation this week, 11:11 on the timer, when it comes to this blocked energy and this blocked creativity and all of the manipulative tendencies when it comes to that very difficult cycle that the masculine is needing to close out. And so there's almost like this energy of disconnect on the feminine side. And I do feel the masculine is afraid to come forward and ask for help because of that disconnect between the counterparts. On Saturday, we have the sun squaring it up with Lilith. And I do feel this is a message for the feminine. Do not let critics hold you back from sharing your truth. The sun is kind of shining on a light, I feel, on the Lilith aspect of where the divine feminine needs to reclaim back her personal authenticity, her personal identity, and to really start to begin to assert her true authentic self. And so embrace any challenges this week, divine feminine, and work through any power struggles with a bit of grace, because I feel like you might feel like it's a struggle to accept and assert yourself, especially when it's connected to the heart. But I do feel it's really time to accept what is in order to really reach the next level of growth. And so you will likely feel compelled to just take back all of your power and say, I'm all done leaking my power. I'm all done giving my power away. And maybe you'll even find your strength and your strong will to speak up about these negative vices that are currently prevailing in society within relationships. And so I feel there's a shift on the weekend, kind of compelling the divine feminine into action when it comes to striving to create that harmony and that balance. But there's also this underlying tad simmering raw rage below the surface. So we're stepping into empowerment. We're stepping into liberation, and we're stepping into receiving some type of major revelation. I feel the sun is kind of shining a light on what needs to be closed when it comes to a door from the past. And so the feminine might finally be getting to a point of closing a door on this chapter of this lesson, of this twin flame life lesson. I'm releasing any regret and grief, releasing any loss that was caused to you during this abandonment within this connection, and even the energy of quite possibly feeling unloved. And it's like the second the feminine releases, we go right into the energy on Sunday with Mars trine Neptune. And this was the Ace of Wands, Three of Wands energy very loudly. And so it was like a combination of spiritual introspection with heightened creativity, creating a beautiful harmonious alignment between this dream-like quality and the masculine energy of taking action. And so I feel there's going to be a lot of newfound spiritual insights being downloaded that will create the drive for that decisive action. And so I feel this is where the masculine will finally be able to gain a more objective perspective of the twin flame journey and the action that he does need to take. And I felt massive heart chakra expansion with that aspect, connecting with higher spiritual awareness, higher spiritual truth, and triggering this deep sense of empathy that was being activated when it comes to humanity. And so very interesting times we are in, I want to say. And so I do feel this really is a time for the counterparts to truly reflect on personal desires. This is a week, I feel, of prioritizing self-care, creating that balance in your life, because there's going to be a surge of cosmic energy creating all kinds of shifts this week. And I think the divine masculine is really finding himself at a crossroads. And there's like this burning question, I feel, that the feminine is sitting in. It isn't whether the masculine will take action, but I think it's the type of action that he will take. And so I feel the divine masculine is really going to need to be mindful when it comes to harnessing this energy for this purposeful work that the twins came here to do together. And I do feel he's likely going to be met with a spiraling of conflicts that could lead to a lot of hasty decisions and actions this week. But there is a powerful new beginning being offered, is really what this felt like. But we have to expand. We have to expand beyond the limitations. We have to say yes to this opportunity. And I do feel the energy is right to plant those seeds for growth and expansion. And so I was really sitting in the energy Saturday, channeling the astrology for the week ahead. And it was about 1:11 in the afternoon, and I kept being shown in my third eye the Lover's card with the Two of Cups and the Ten of Wands with the Emperor card. And I kept hearing leveling up, leveling up. I feel the masculine's heart is being set ablaze this week. It's almost like the karmic release through the violet flame activation. And I feel be ready for some serious action. The number syncs were loud, even channeling the astrology: 212, 313, 414, 616. And then I was shown 222 and 555. And so everything that was appearing was a mirror other than the 222 and the 555. And so 222 is a deep sense of needing to make a decision. The 555 is saying, hey, expect some powerful changes this week, because I felt a very strong, passionate surge of energy. And the divine masculine might be on the precipice or in the midst of bringing forward some type of proposal or offer to the feminine this week when it comes to this very deep emotional connection. And we are here to get rooted in love and rooted in self-respect and mutual respect. And so the twin flame experience really is a powerful transformative experience. It is the ultimate union of two souls and the grounding of that ultimate union. But a choice is going to need to be made. And I feel the masculine is being presented with a very difficult choice this week. And I do believe it's a choice between two people. And so this major crossroads energy is where the masculine must choose between two paths, the higher path or the lower path. And I feel I need to stress the importance of this, because we are here to stay true to our higher spiritual values and our spiritual beliefs. And so love, true love, is really a powerful force of energy. And true love will always bring true lovers back together, no matter what tears them apart, because of the deep and meaningful connection that true divine counterparts share. And so it's really not a romantic fantasy, but I do feel with the Ten of Wands and the Emperor energy combined, there's a very dynamic interplay of energy at play this week between responsibility and structure for the divine masculine. And so there's a heavy burden that I feel a lot of them have been carrying when it comes to their lack of authority that they've been harnessing properly. And so they've got to release this heavy weight or this heavy burden that they've kind of carried on their backs that's really not theirs to carry any further. And so I think things this week are really about to take an interesting twist or turn of fate. And we're going to have to face these power struggles. I feel the masculine is really being told it's time to take back control of his life over addictions, over anybody that is trying to control him or manipulate him. And I do feel a deep sense of overwhelm connected to the masculine collective when it comes to the responsibilities that he's likely taken on in that karmic situation. And so a major wake-up call this week for a lot of the divine masculines, but this is where they are being called to step up and lead and to be the leader that they were born to be. And we need to remember, with great power does come great responsibility. So let's get at it with some cards. Let's see what other energies need to come through with the oracle messages. I'm going to start off by using the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck, and we're going to see if there are any other additional astrology messages that need to come through. So we got the moon energy and the 12th house. Very interesting. So the 12th house is the house of karma. It is the house of spirituality. It's the house that knows no bounds. It's the house of spiritual activation, right? And if you can see all of the chakra energies, there could be spontaneous Kundalini activation taking place this week. It is a 50 card, and so I'm being shown the 10 of Cups. And so this is a week of introspection. The 12th house is definitely the energy of hidden enemies, I feel, being exposed this week. But the 12th house really is where we bury the past. It's where we make peace with endings so we can begin a new cycle and go towards that ultimate emotional fulfillment. And then we got the moon. And so the moon is all about shifting perceptions. I feel Pisces energy. I also feel the breakdown of the ego. It's a 19 card. And so 19 is a karmic debt number. And it is associated with the fall of the ego, the breakdown of the ego. It's even associated with narcissism. And so a lot of the divine masculines, they play into these narcissistic tendencies. They are extremely codependent on praise. And that is what keeps them stuck in those toxic cycles, is their codependencies and their ego. And so I feel there's a shift in perception when it comes to the moon energy and burying the past. So perhaps the moon will be transiting through the divine masculine's 12th house. I'm being shown the energy of Pisces. So I don't know if your counterpart is a Pisces 12th house or not. But the 12th house is also the house of undoing. And so it's kind of like undoing the karmic threading is what that felt like. So let's see what we got here for the twins. Look at the moon. The moon is pretty loud. It wants to come through. And so I do feel that last eclipse energy, we had that full moon eclipse in Pisces, really brought forward a deep introspection when it comes to clearing internal blocks for the divine masculine, when it comes to a perception about relationships and maybe becoming unbound from a karmic cycle. So the 7th house is the house of one-on-one relationships. It is the house of marriage, but I do feel there's like this 5 of Cups quality that the masculine's been in this relationship cycle with a 5 of Cups quality. And so the last card out, we get Neptune. And so envisioning and revisioning the future. And so there's a lot of truth coming in this week, I feel. There's a lot of truth being downloaded. And these transits really are kind of bringing the masculine down to that rock bottom energy in order for them to gain that new perspective about relationships. And first and foremost, our relationship with ourselves truly is the most important relationship that we have here. And so let's read into the moon card because that one made a double appearance. So I feel it's a pretty loud message. And although I feel Cancer, the moon is naturally, although I felt Pisces, the moon is naturally ruled by Cancer. And so I feel there's a deep, deep river of emotions being brought to the surface. And so the moon also is how we nurture ourselves, how we nurture others. And so I do feel that last eclipse really brought in a major shift in consciousness for a lot of the divine masculines. And they're kind of investigating. They're investigating the twin flame journey. I think they're really investigating the patterns that drive them. There's a lot of emotional motivation going on this week, and there's a lot of emotions below the surface that have been running the masculine's mind wild, is what I'm feeling. And so I think they're really looking at their toxic habits, their actions. They could be dealing with the nuance this week when it comes to finally coming forward with expression of words for the divine feminine. And so they're really looking at their insecurities. They're processing their insecurities. And I feel they're learning to drop into the heart rather than being overly logical when it comes to this situation. And so there is this energy of defensiveness for sure. And I feel the feminine's message is to stay in the ebb and flow. Keep yourself occupied each day with your mission work, with your teaching role, and just align yourself to the tides, because I feel life is really getting easier for the divine feminine. And so let's talk about these transits, because we are in such a powerful energy here of opposition, transits, and creating tension. And so everything is constantly moving, everything is shifting. And so I feel there could be a lot of people walking into your life this week, Divine Feminine, that are going to be playing a very karmically important role. And so there could be a very valuable lesson with a short-term soul contract coming in, and they're there to help you to shift and pivot. And so there could be a very fluctuating situation surrounding the masculine as well this week that will trigger a lot of changes in their personal life. But I do feel a wild card is at play this week. And we are not in control. We are not in control. And so I think right now that is the scariest thing that the masculine needs to face is surrender and releasing control, because we are not in complete control of these transits. So I think a big message of choosing wisely, because that Neptunian aspect is a little bit illusionary as well. So let's go a little bit deeper. We'll get some angels and auras oracle cards. I grabbed a few decks, but I wasn't sure which one I was going to pick. So we get energy healing. It's a 21 card on the bottom of the deck, which is the energy of the world. And so Divine Feminine, I feel you are closing out this cycle. You are stepping into your goddess energy. You are stepping into your holistic well-being this week, thriving. You're thriving this week. And so you are here to honor your sacred psychic abilities. Be proud of yourself. I feel you are leveling up and you have manifested your counterpart. And so as you close out these cycles as well, it does trigger the shift within the masculine's negative relationship cycles and patterns. So let's see what else needs to come through. And then we will get into a reading here with the tarot. Divine magic. Wishes, goals, dreams, and accomplishments. And so that's where I feel a lot of the Divine Feminines are at. They're about to have all of their wishes come true. And this is triggering a lot of doubt, pessimism, and misfortune on the masculine side. I almost feel like a Four of Cups energy. And I think they're feeling like they really made a misfortunate decision. I do see two men on the card, so could be a same-sex couple here. Is a 13 card. And so I do feel as you kind of step into your wishes being granted and this level of accomplishment and affluency, it's a 19 card. We get the 19 card with the 13 card in reversed. And so it speaks of abundance in reversed for the masculine is what I'm feeling. And they're losing faith. They're facing a lot of extremities. There's a lot of pessimism, there's a lot of doubts because they played into that cycle of greed. And now they're looking at the feminine of having everything that they wish that they could have had, but they chose money over love. And wherever they're at, there is a lack of money. There's a lot of misfortune and there's a lot of pessimism and doubt. And so bottom of the deck is a 16 card. So interesting. 3 out of the 4 karmic debt numbers came through. And so I do feel there's a major tower because the divine masculine is in this state of needing to bring forward a significant new awareness. There's a lot of angst. There's a lot of worry. And I feel you need to trust divine feminine. This journey breaks apart everything false, and it truly is a blessing in disguise when we go through those tower moments. But I feel this tower moment is bringing forward a revelation of the significance of these connections. And then on the bottom of the deck we get the 11 card, or we get Archangel Uriel, the red, the base chakra. And so this is where the masculine has to face his unfulfillment, his division within this connection, the wounded ego, because the feminine is devoting her life to her mission work and has integrated her emotions. There's almost this energy of balancing the karmic scales, and then we get time to go, and it is an Ace of Cups quality to it. And so it's time for the masculine to go, to leave this stagnant cycle behind, to stop wandering and watering a dead tree. And I feel he's got to stop staying stuck in this dead end situation that isn't leading to growth or success. And he's got an opportunity to go towards that holy grail love with the divine feminine, but he's got to complete that cycle, and he's got to transform his life, and he's got to exit stage left, and then we go right back to that healing energy. And so I do feel the feminine is what the masculine needs right now. He needs the divine feminine's healing hands because he's neglected himself for so long. I feel a lot of lethargy, a lot of illness surrounding the masculine, and the feminine is just thriving. Okay, so I'm going to do things a little bit different today. I'm going to pull a 9-card spread with the Hidden Secrets deck, and then we're going to clarify each of these cards with, what is this deck? Oh my goodness. I can't even think of the deck name. Let me see for a minute. Oh, the Everyday Witch Tarot. The Everyday Witch Tarot. Okay, so let's do things a little bit different here. And let's see, I just saw the Obsession card. Now I see the Soulmate card. And so the Divine Masculine, I feel, is feeling very lonely, very withdrawn, in this energy of solitary confinement. So let's see what the energies are today. What do you got for us, Spirit? Okay, we get the Perspective came out with the Chasing. So it does feel like a perspective shift. And so a lot of the masculines, I think, are also thinking that the feminine is better off without them, but they are working on clearing their headspace. And so the third card out was Stress. We got the Stress card. We got the Foundation card. And beside that, we've got the Open Heart. And so there's that heart chakra activation with that Mars trine Neptune energy is really what that's feeling like. And so in the past, I feel the masculine really had a negative mindset towards this connection, likely due to the feminine's toxic pursuit towards the masculine. And so he was very resilient. He was very resistant to this connection. But there's a shift. I feel there's a shift in perspectives here. And I do feel there's like a lot on the masculine's mind. They're stressed. They're stressed about money. They're stressed about health. They need to take a chill pill is what it looks like. I think they're watching you online. There's a lot of turbulence and tension surrounding the masculine, and quite possibly a lot of arguments for a certain situation that they might feel trapped in. We got the Trapped card beside the Open Heart. The Bitterness card came out. Very negative emotions that I feel a lot of the masculines are working through. And so you might be feeling that mirroring energy. We get the Only You card. And what is the last card today? Past life connection. And so right now they are needing to realize the negative repetitive patterns. And so the masculine would also have a deep past life soul tie in that karmic cycle with the other person as well. And so the central energy really is a massive heart chakra awakening. And so right now they're stressed, they're trapped, they're stuck, they're tied down. It's almost like they're being held captive in that toxic cycle as they work through their bitterness and their anger and their resentment, maybe to some hurtful words that you had spoken to them. But they know it's you and only you. They are devoted to you. They are craving you, Divine Feminine. And they are kind of stuck in this repetitive past life cycle with a past life soulmate in order to learn this karmic lesson. Bottom of the day, we get the one day, which is basically that Neptunian energy of dreaming. Someday, somewhere, in another time, I'll be able to rewrite this story. I'll be able to start with a blank canvas, a clean slate, and then they're finally at their breaking point when it comes to their pride and their ego. And so very interesting. I do feel this has been going on for several years, since about the year of the tiger. And so we're closing out the year of the dragon, and we're entering into the year of the snake on the 29th of January. And so before the year of the dragon, we were in the year of the tiger. And it's like they had the eye of the tiger. And this whole process over the last year or so has been facing their inner dragon, their inner demons, their arrogancy, their egoic stubbornness. And it's like the breaking point, almost like that 10 of Swords quality. And then below that, we get commitment. And so right now they have a big decision to make. What is it that they want to commit to? Do they want to keep chasing this toxicity and staying in this cycle of turbulence, tension, and stress and arguments? Or do they want to reestablish a secure family foundation with the Divine Feminine by opening up their heart and being emotionally vulnerable and empathic and receptive to these downloads? But let's get these energies cleared up. Let's go further with the tarot. So we're going to clarify the perspective card, and that's clarified with the Ace of Coins in reversed. And so I think they're gaining a new awareness of how much of a missed opportunity This is for them. Sideways, clarifying the chasing card is the Seven of Wands sideways. And so this is a challenge for them stepping into the teacher of the teacher role. And so the Seven of Wands, I just feel they're facing a lot of opposition. Maybe there's a lot of people coming at them, pointing the finger at them. They're feeling like they need to defend themselves here. But it is key 33 in the tarot, which is an indication of a master lesson here. And then the stress card clarified by the King of Cups in reversed. And so they are just emotionally, I feel, all over the place. The foundation clarified by the Nine of Pentacles reversed, the Ten of Cups upright, and the Page of Pentacles. And so what I feel is there is so much fear, so much fear. Maybe they fear that you're not going to be willing to give up your independence and the life that you built, but they are dreaming about a happy ending with you, and they are thinking about bringing forward some type of offer. It's like they've been given the go-ahead. They definitely have. And so the page is saying they might have to walk away from everything that they've built in that other insecure foundation and start with absolutely nothing. So they might be coming forward and they might not have a lot to offer you at all. But what is the open heart energy all about? The Two of Swords. You hit your mark, Divine Feminine. Bullseye is what I want to say. And so I just feel they've been blocking this truth. They've been blocking their heart, and it's like something is coming in, hitting the nail on the head here. And they are definitely trapped in a situation, in a loveless situation, with the Two of Cups reversed, basically clarifying that trapped card. And so they're trapped. There's a separation, there's a disconnect, and they're feeling stuck there. So what is the bitterness all about? Needing to make a choice, or maybe making the wrong choice. And so I just feel like they've got an opportunity now to make another choice, but it will require action. Tell me about only you. It's only you, Divine Feminine. They see clearly who the true Divine Feminine High Priestess is. And so I think there's almost fear because they know that you know what is going on over there. And so they do see you clearly. They see you as the true healer, the true Divine Feminine, and the past life energy is clarified by the Justice card and the Four of Pentacles sideways. And so it's almost like they're imprisoned in this situation. Something or someone is holding on to them and won't let go. And so there will be a karmic rebalancing here. And so they are closing out a major karmic cycle. So keep sticking with your I am affirmations, Divine Feminine. There is blind justice being served. And I don't even think you see this coming. Bottom of the deck, we get the Knight of Cups to the Queen of Cups to the Four of Wands in reversed and the Judgment card in reversed. Ace of Cups in reversed. And so I feel a huge emotional breakdown for a lot of the Divine Masculines this week. They know they need to come in with an offer of love. They're hoping that you're still willing to receive their messages, to receive this offer. They're hoping that you're willing to break bread with them is what this feels like, because they see clearly the huge missed opportunity when it comes to this big cycle of unconditional love. And they are getting a major wake-up call. I feel they're getting some bad karma here. And then the Chariot is saying they got to get out of Dodge with that karmic situation. Because below the Chariot, we do get the Empress in reverse. And so they are with somebody very clingy, very codependent, very controlling. Somebody that doesn't know her worth or her value. And I feel there's a lack of growth. There's a lack of fertility. They could be dealing with a Taurus, Libra. They could be dealing with a Cancer. But there really is a need to let go of a situation that is just no longer working. And so the Chariot is saying they got to get in control of their emotions. They can keep staying stuck in that dark cycle, or they can step back into the light and get back on track and plant that seed. And so this is the timing card, right? The Seven of Pentacles to the Queen of Swords. And so they know they've got to have that deep conversation, that heart-to-heart intimate conversation with the Queen of Swords. And so I just feel they know they have to come in with the truth. They know they have to lay it all on the table. And they know that they have to lay it all on the table, or the Divine Feminine might choose to not work on this anymore. And so I think there's a confession coming. I feel some type of confession coming, and then we close it off with the World. And so it's kind of time to throw caution to the wind. It's time to complete these karmic lessons. It's time to move forward. And it's time to just start this new cycle, I feel. No longer waiting for one day, somewhere, sometime, because the time is now for that new beginning. And so there's that blank canvas with the Page of Cups. And so I think get ready to receive a message, an offer, or the masculine to extend some type of offering to you to kind of fix things here. Because I do feel right now you're kind of being blocked from this shocking revelation that the masculine is going to, because you've kind of put those firm boundaries in line. And so it's like you drew that line in the sand. You said enough is enough. And this is triggering the divine masculine to come in and nourish this connection. But he is being blocked by these third-party influences when it comes to this reconciliation and this second chance. Could be peers. It could be another woman. But I do feel there's a huge opportunity this week to make amends and to go towards this newfound commitment, because it's time to close out these cycles. And so a week of karma, a week of facing the consequences of past actions, cause and effect, paying off some karmic debts. But I feel the masculine is definitely feeling the loss of you. He's grieving the loss. He's in a state of depression, which is creating this conflicted energy about sending a message. And so there he sits in this silence, working through his feelings of hopelessness, almost like in this energy of sinking despair, falling apart, because he is so afraid of rejection. And so that's what he's been running from this whole time, is fear of rejection. Because he knows he shattered and broke your heart. He knows he disappeared and he ghosted, and he never came back with the truth. And so I feel he's going to have to face up to the dishonesty. I just feel with the elusive card, like, oh, what a twisted web of lies the masculine has weaved. And now all of that is coming unraveled in the energies this week. So let's close off the reading with a crystal medicine card for each of the counterparts. Let's do that. Okay, one closing card for the divine masculine transformation. So I do feel this might not fully come to fruition until that shift on the 29th. But the masculine is dealing with a snake. It's almost like eating his own tail. And I do feel the masculine is in this Five of Swords, facing all kinds of challenges and shedding what is no longer working. Divine feminine, you are the magician. And so you are in a portal this week of deep ancestral healing, DNA activation. If you see the DNA helixes at the top. And so I feel you are deeply connected with the ancestors. Get rooted, get grounded, stand tall like that tree. And then bottom of the deck, because we are in this energy of a lot of sacred healing this week. And I do feel the masculine is going to be taking action very quickly once he steps into self-mastery. So it's like he's opening up his gift, his box of darkness, and he's kind of winding down the road here. But I do feel a Knight of Wands, Ace of Wands quality. And so get ready for an unexpected arrival this week from the counterpart. And that's what I got for the twins for the week ahead. So if you would like to book a personal or a twin soul reading with me, check out the description box below. Also, I offer one-on-one astrology coaching. So if you would like to accelerate your journey with a one-on-one coaching with me, check it out. I offer 4 sessions or 8 sessions to help out with costs. And I also would like to quickly mention about the membership side of the channel. I recently launched a book club on January the 1st. There's still time to get in on this month's book. If you'd like to join the membership, we go live every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time. I pull into all 12 zodiac signs. It's a fun, interactive, live. It's safe, it's secure, because we're in a private membership. So go check it out. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you can join us every Thursday, and we dig into all of the signs. So I hope you all have a great week ahead, and I do look forward to seeing you all again next time.